Okay, it says we're live.
Good evening. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but I think we have it under order now. It said that we were live earlier, but it looks like we weren't. However, we are live now. Again, how are you all doing? I'm Ahura Z, hold the salt with Ahura Z, and I hope you enjoyed tonight's meal that we're learning to cook. As I said, I like to add my own twist to things.
We're good.
So we're going to do ravioli, and we're going to do it from scratch. And instead of using the normal recipe, which is, I guess, pretty traditional with ricotta and spinach, we're going to do a beef and basil one. And I know that everybody loves the fresh taste of basil. I really do. But I'm going to show you some of the things. We have the meat here that I have prepared, and also the cheese, and we have the dough that I've already rolled out for time-saving reasons. But I also want to show you what I do to make all of this happen. One of the things that I'm going to do is show you how I almost puree the meat. And yeah, it would be easier to use shredded beef. However, I like to use a beef steak so that I can, not shred it up, but almost puree it. How do you say that? Shredded, chop it, puree it. And get it to the texture that I need. As you can see, this is what it looks like. But I'm going to show you all how to do it so that you can do it yourself at home. Okay? Now, before I get to any of that, again, I hope you all had a wonderful week. For those of you that did not have necessarily a positive week, hang in there. Better things are coming. As you all know, I do low sodium cooking, and in many cases, no sodium cooking. There are certain things that have naturally occurring residual salt in them, such as some meat. I may use a modicum, just a tiny bit of cheese for preference sake. You don't have to use that. And for those of you that are on an extremely low sodium diet, I do not recommend that you use cheese unless it's a no sodium cheese. And most of the time that's just so that you feel like you haven't missed anything. Now, one of the things that we use is your food processor, which will be very important for you to use. For those of you that don't have a food processor, it will take some time, but if you take your beef and you chop it up, and as you see here, I have cut my beef, you can come on over, and marinated it. And this is what it looks like. Now watch this. You take that and put it in here. Just chunks of beef. You don't have to cut it up too small, because the food process, if you have a good food processor, it's relatively easy. Most of this I've already done, but I wanted to show you all how it's done so that you can be able to do it.
Jan
Yeah.
says, I can't find any cheese except fresh mozzarella.
Well, mozzarella is probably the best to use, in my opinion. It's probably the lowest sodium. Also, ricotta is not high in sodium at all. It's about the same as mozzarella. You can find some Parmesan. You get to use a couple of tablespoons or a couple of teaspoons of it, and it just like using mozzarella. Okay, so try those. But here, come on over so you can see the process. This is really pretty simple. If you have a pulse button on your food processor, just real quick, and then just hold it up. And then check it once in a while. Oh, very good. Let's give it one more run. It looks really good. And there you have it. This is pretty easy. And what you have there is your meat, the way that you need your meat to be. See, you see it. It's really easy to manage. It's not difficult at all. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. and you get your meat to have the right texture that you need. I'll just use a bowl. Take that out of your food processor. Just put it in the bowl real easy. Now, so you can see what that looks like. Okay. A little more and it would have been almost like a pate. Now I like using fresh basil, and in many ravioli recipes they will cook the spinach or whatever it is that they're using. I prefer to do it fresh, but one of the things you want to do is if you're going to use something like fresh basil, or if you're going to use spinach, I think you should kind of boil it down first, because it's very tough, and if you're making ravioli, you really don't want anything tough in your ravioli. Okay. Put your cleaver there. You don't have to cut it too small because it's fresh. So I'm fine with the basil being, because I like good chunks of basil. I don't know about anybody else, but I do. I have to use my nice Fan Bing Bing signature cleaver. Kazi loves it, I mentioned that. Just chop it the way that you want it chopped. And take your meat. Go ahead and get your hands in there. It in real good.
Tavares says, now that is a cleaver.
Yeah, it is. It's my favorite. Yeah, mix it up nice and good in there. If you notice, I didn't do a big bowl of meat because we already did that. Now, if there's anything else that you like to be able to season your meat with, my recommendation is for you to go ahead and do that. Go ahead. As for myself, and throw a little paprika in there. I'm also going to do some black pepper. And let's see what happened to my seasoning. There you go. I'm going to use some ground basil, just a touch. And hold on, stay right there. Here's my Italian seasoning, which somehow got put away. Now this is a combination of oregano, thyme, marjoram, and basil. You can season how you choose. Okay. Now this is one thing. If you're going to do your meat this way, if you're going to use meat in ravioli, you can't be afraid of it. Okay, because a lot of people are. And you have to be willing to really get in there. And make sure it's well mixed. Now, if you choose to, you can add things like ricotta, but usually ravioli is a very simple thing. If you choose to make it more, you can. Now I soaked or marinated my meat with my 18-year-old balsamic vinegar and a few other seasonings, the Italian seasoning, which is very, very, very good. I also put minced onion and garlic in. Okay, so if you choose to do it that way, you can. Now here's a really cool thing. We're going to go over here, and I'm I'm going to uncover my dough. This out of the way. Let it breathe for a second. Then I'm going to come over here. One of the things that you want to do is make sure the sauce that is going over your ravioli is prepared. And this is a combination here. This is, we have ground beef. I have tomato paste. I have oregano. I have garlic. Again, minced onion. And I have fresh garlic, chopped garlic. And I have the basil in here. It smells really, really good. No salt added. Now, important note, if you're going to use tomato paste, the tomato paste has about 15 milligrams for 2 tablespoons, about 15 milligrams of sodium. But I doubt seriously you're gonna eat that much. Okay, but again, watch what you're eating. Don't negotiate your salt, okay? This is really important. If you want to be able to eat a diet that you feel like you can be inclusive, you can be included. Ravioli is one of those things that, I know that I really love, but they put so much salt in it that I can't do that. I can't have that. But this way, you can, and you can eat a good amount of it. Now, the dough.
Jan says it looks really good.
Thank you. The dough that we've done, when we make the dough, an important thing, this is only made with flour, egg, a little olive oil, and water. No salt. Okay, don't try to be clever and add salt to it and believe that you need to add salt to it just because it's dough, because you're wrong. And anyone who tells you that you need to, you have to, they are incorrect. If they want to, that's fine, but you're not one of those people.
Jan says, I found a low sodium tomato paste, one I use all the time.
Yep, that's highly recommended. If you can find the one that actually uses no sodium, and this is probably the lowest I've seen. I use Hunt's a lot, and Hunt's actually has more like 30 milligrams or 25 milligrams. This only has 33, or 15, excuse me. And it's probably better. If you can find one lower than that, more power to you. Now, when you're making your dough, I'll show you some things about that later. That's all good. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our meat that we've already prepared. And you can put whatever you like into it. I don't like putting just a little bit. I know some people do, because for some reason they do that and then complain later that they didn't have enough meat in their ravioli or cheese or whatever it is they're eating. Now, remember, you can use whatever you'd like. You make your ravioli how you choose. You can use any kind of filling that you choose. I know that people have a lot of preferences, and you make yours. You make sure that yours is known, that you're going to do it the way you want to do it. I don't know if anybody's ever tried to do this before, but I think you owe it to yourself to at least try.
Charlene Basio says, good evening and aloha.
Good evening and aloha. Good of you to come. Appreciate it.
Aloha ahi ahi.
Huh?
Aloha ahi ahi.
It's important to know that at some point, when I get the money I want to open a full-service low-sodium restaurant. That way, we can all have a beautiful place to eat and not have to worry about the sodium.
Jan says, I've made nochi,
Nochi?
but
Yeah.
not ravioli.
I just thought that you guys would like this, so it was a good idea. Okay, now, one of the things that I do is the simplest thing that you can do. If you prefer to cut them out individually, that's fine. But what I'll do is I'll take my ravioli and I'll fold it over, okay, like so. Now you gotta get a little extra dough, that's okay. That's fine.
Jan says a low sodium restaurant would be like a dream come true.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Especially
You know, I
in
opened my
Australia.
bakery years ago, and I only did it with only because I was so desperate to make it happen. I only did it with $15,000. That meant I had to buy everything and arrange everything, and we opened it and location and everything, and you know, I just wanted to open it where I wanted to open it, so I opened it in Standish. And I don't think the people in Standish were very used to people like me. So I think with $15,000, I really had a time. So when I open my restaurant, I'm not opening my restaurant having anything less than about $150. But when I do, it will be one of the best restaurants ever. I mean, I may not win a Michelin star or anything like that, but I'll match my food up with anybody's. Now, if you see what I did, I just cut the excess off. And what I have here is very uneven. Very uneven, but good. Long rectangle of ravioli. Now, this stuck together pretty good, but normally what I would do is I just kind of brush water around the edges just to make sure. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this, and I'm going to take between a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch cut in between. As you can see, real simple. Nothing real fancy, just doing my thing. That's too much. If you feel like it's too big, just get rid of the excess dough. Normally I do this with a knife, but these are really cool. So I'm going to do that. You know, there are lots of people that would like to be able to cook for themselves, but many people I've discovered don't know how to cook. But if I can get how to cook, to have them see how to make things, then it'll help them out. And I'm just gonna let those sit there, and I'm gonna come back over to my sauce. And I'm gonna turn that off for now. I think it's had enough heat to right texture. Taste it, because Kazi is my taste guinea pig. Here you go, sweetheart. How's that?
Delicious.
Now, I'm gonna take a fork, because it's real easy to do. What I'm going to do is to make sure that it stays sealed, just by pressing with a fork. See that? Kind of make little ridges, because ravioli has ridges. Try not to leave too big of a pocket. There we go. Now because it's folded, I only have to do this on 3 sides, but I may just do it for effect on all 4 sides. There we go. So how's everyone tonight while I'm doing this? Everybody okay? Okay. Anyone have any questions? Any thoughts? Any feelings? Anything you'd like to see cooked? Let me know. If you do have something that you would like to see prepared, just write us at www.dailybreadlowsodium.com. Okay?
We have comments. Or you can just send us messages on Facebook through our Daily Bread Low Sodium Bakery Facebook page. We have questions and comments.
Okay.
Jan says, morning here and I'm great. Mara says, have you ever made dessert ravioli?
I can.
Wow.
I have actually. They're called
Cannolis.
yeah, there's that. But they're also called remember I made those raspberry and cream cheese pockets.
Oh, yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Charlene says, love ravioli and enjoy your recipes. Can you suggest making Kahlua pork without salt?
Of course.
She says, I liquid smoke.
Liquid smoke is good.
Kate Lewis Mansfield says, doing great in North Carolina.
Yay!
Jan says, going to give this a go tomorrow night. Send us pictures.
Awesome. Yeah, we'd love to see your preparation.
Or your final product or stuff. Any kind of picture. Charlene says, okay, I will.
Good. It'll be fun. You know, you can amaze everyone with your cooking prowess. Now, so this is what they turn out to be, as you can see, and these, and you can, maybe let them sit out just for a little bit, not too much so. And that is your ravioli.
She says, have you got a chicken recipe that is like KFC?
Oh yeah, I can outdo KFC any day.
And Kate Lewis Mansfield says, I would like to try this too. Please try it, you guys, and
Yes, try it.
show us your pictures. You can either post them underneath the video in a comment, or send it to us privately in a PM.
Yes, because in the future we're going to come at Daily Bread Bakery. We're going to come up with a few contests. In other words, if you get the answers right in a contest, then you get a loaf of bread, free loaf of bread,
Jan
or maybe
says,
some other product like my magnificent cinnamon rolls.
Jan says, yes, please, add it to the KFC chicken
Sure.
recipe.
Okay. We will do a chicken recipe next week then. Okay, I think that you'll like it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to boil them. Now these only take about 3 or 4 minutes, but you have to wait for the water, so I'm going to kind of heat it. And I should have did this earlier, but I think I was just overly excited about showing you guys how to do this because it's fun.
Jan says, I miss sausages.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's the thing. You can make
You can.
sausages. The only thing that you're omitting is the salt. Okay. They're pretty easy to season. I don't know. It's a toss-up. I can do chicken. I can do sausage. Because here we do sausages all the time. One night we'll do tamales. Ooh, that would be great. Only I don't know how great chorizo would come across with absolutely no salt. But we'll do some experimentation. I'll do some experimentation for you. Certainly, and definitely start doing some pastries. Everyone at Daily Bread Bakery is extremely talented with what it is that they do. As a matter of fact, one of the people that helped me, two of the people that helped me with the show, is Kazi and Syra, who is my prep cook most of the time, and sometimes Kazi prep cooks. But I'd like to just introduce you all to her. Come along.
Jan says, "Oh my God, I'm so excited." Kate Lewis Mansfield says, "Do you have your own restaurant?"
I'm working on it. If I can get funded, I will open my own restaurant. Here, come here. This is Ira. This is my prep cooking assistant. And she is one of the reasons that I get things done so fast. And Kazi usually helps prep cook too. As a matter of fact, so you can see them both.
Oh, yay.
Yes.
Blue and green. Yay! Wonder Twins.
This
Assemble.
is Kazi and Syra. These are the people that help Ahura with Daily Bread Bakery and also Sonari. And she's in the back. But these are the people that help me with the show. And as you can see, the show comes off very good. Mm-hmm. I'm working on my own restaurant. I would love to open a low-sodium restaurant. I think it would be perfect for people like us. And then no one would have to worry about their food. So, yeah, can you put that water on, please?
Yeah, between all of us, we're like master no salt chefs, low sodium chefs.
Yeah, we are, actually.
We can make anything low sodium
Mm-hmm.
for you.
You know, like for years, people would say that, well, how do you make bread with no salt? You make it. You just make it. You decide on what you're going to do and you make it. You know, so.
I think people want to see you now.
Yeah. You don't know. You just wouldn't be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I'm having fun with this. Da 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 da. No, just kidding.
Make people
Here, let's go ahead. Come on.
Okay.
Anyway, these are the people that help me. Thanks, sir.
Yes.
Now, in your water, you can put different things in your water when you're boiling, when you're getting ready to boil, but don't put salt in your water. Okay? Don't do that.
Jen says, hi. Hi, Jen. No, she tells. Hi. She says, one day I'll fly over. Kate says, why did you all decide to go low sodium?
Well, they didn't all decide to go low sodium. I go low sodium. They can eat whatever they want. However, I think that they discovered that once you start eating with no salt, your taste buds kind of wake up. Because I was put on a low sodium diet about 7 years ago, and I had a horrible time trying to find food. Because it's great if I was a vegetarian, you know, and just wanted everything to taste like green. But I went to several supermarkets and the popular supermarkets, and I noticed that everything was laden with salt. Everything. You know, I couldn't even get like a candy bar with no salt. I couldn't get Jell-O with no salt. I couldn't get a drink with no salt. You know, it's like someone deliberately decided to put salt in everything, things that it makes no sense to have salt in. You know, so I got a little discouraged at that point. I'll admit that. I got discouraged, and nothing really discourages me. But then I learned something. I said, oh yeah, I know how to cook. You know, so I started cooking for myself. And then I thought about it. I said, you know, I can't just do this for myself, because I can't be the only person on a low sodium diet. And if I'm not trying to help everyone else that has this particular problem, then what's the purpose? I mean, so I remember thinking, well, I can't have too much salt, because if I did, then I might get sick, and that's the worst thing that you could worry about. No one needs to think about the fact that their next meal could hurt them badly. And I said, no, I'm not having it. And with my cooking experience and my cooking talent, I said, okay. So I started baking, just feverishly baking things, and said, I think everyone should benefit from this. So I said, I'm gonna open a restaurant. I'm gonna open a low sodium bakery. And I didn't have a lot of money. With the help of a couple of friends, I got to open my bakery. And I can bake over 100 different types of breads and do different desserts and things like that, and muffins and stuff like that. And my wife's a really good baker. And Kazi handled the gluten-free things. And Cyrus was like, geez, if you ever taste her croissants, you won't want anyone else. So we said, all right. So we did it. We got ourselves a massive blender. We got ourselves I had to pay for the stove and the different equipment, all was only $15,000. I had to paint, remodel, which I'm pretty good at. We're all pretty good at it. And we opened. And it's been my thing to make sure that everyone can eat. I was treated very badly as a child and starved. And no one should be starved. So I had to learn how to make food with nothing. And that's where my recipes came. Plus, working at various restaurants, I figured if I work at a restaurant, then I would never go hungry, right? So I worked at restaurants from Burger King to a 5-star restaurant that was called the Carriage Club, and learned a lot of things. 2 guys from Italy. It was a very, very wonderful Italian restaurant that I learned a lot of recipes from, and kept cooking, kept working. So it's my dream one day to open a low sodium restaurant, that people can come to. I learned everything there was to learn about restaurateuring. I even learned how to make wine, beer, and other things, just so that I could be able to do it. And hopefully I can make a lot of different soups. Hopefully I can open that restaurant someday, but I'm not going to do it with $15,000. That doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And I figured I would, if I get about 125, 150,000, I can open anywhere, and make my restaurant work. And all of the people that have low sodium problems, they won't anymore. So anyway, that's why I started.
Charlene says, hi girls, good to know you all work together and appreciate each other. Blessed. Mahalo.
Well, thank you very much. Even from the person that's not a girl.
You were talking and these comments were coming in.
I know.
Jan says, it's in everything. It's insane. She says, you are amazing.
Thank you.
Kate says, that is very encouraging for those of us who are still learning and on low sodium things.
Yeah.
Jan says, I love wine. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, I do too, actually. I have a liquor collection that will never be opened. So I just use it for collective purposes because I like the artistry. I love the idea of being able to make wines and liqueurs and things like that. And I get asked a lot, why aren't you going to open them? And I tell them, no. Why would I do that? But as for wine, we make any kind of wine here when we're asked. Yeah, that's almost there. Now, my sauce seems to be doing wonderfully. I wish you could smell it. It's really, really good. Even better, I wish you could taste it. Now, any more comments?
No,
Good.
not yet.
The water will be ready in a little bit because it's important for you to watch how I put them in. Normally I just say, well, we're going to put them in now and hopefully they turn out right, but I think they will.
Jan says, why do you not live over here?
I don't know. I'm working on it. You know, I'd like to be all over the world, but definitely I'd like to be able to go home, you know, to New Zealand or some part of Polynesia, so that I could be with people and help them, because you know the Polynesian community has a problem with hypertension and stress and salt, you know, so
Bam.
we just do. But I'd like to be everywhere I need it. Hopefully one day I'll be able to clone myself. Yeah, I'm not gonna put them all in, just most of them. Just give them a nice stir so that they can settle themselves, and it'll be just fine. It's okay, you don't have to come over yet.
Okay. Jan says, I miss New Zealand, can't wait to get back there.
Yeah, I wanna go home myself. But I figure wherever my people are that need me, I'm home. Here I am in Maine. So you guys see, I'm a tropical guy. You know, I just am. And it gets cold here. I mean, it's warm right now, kinda, sorta. The other day it was warm, and I got to dress like a human being.
Laura says, if you find the recipe for clothing yourself, you'll definitely have to share it here so I can try it.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'll
me
definitely
too.
do that. I will definitely do that.
I don't know though. I definitely get more things done.
Yeah, I get a lot of things done, but then we'd have to like talk amongst ourselves. Okay, you do this. No, I'm gonna do that. No, you do this. You know, but it's real. I do enjoy cooking. I do enjoy making good recipes, and I love it when people like my food. You know, just remember this: wherever you are, whoever you are, if you're on a low sodium diet and you need to be able to eat, you need to be able to cook. For those of you that don't know how, if you come and watch my show, I promise I'll always do my best for you, and you are safe here. Okay? Just remember, www.dailybreadlowsodium.com. We sell all kinds of breads. If you need products, all you have to do is give us a shout out, and you can order. There's a thing with the shipping. You'll have to discuss that with my wife, who usually mans the phones, and she'll make it so that it's not so bad.
Or
at all.
emails.
Or email. And we'll make you whatever you like. I got all of these different loaves of bread, and I just got some roses so I can start making my vanilla rose bread. And I do chocolate chai. I do different Mediterraneans. I do tea breads, which is made with real tea. And my flour breads, which use flower petals in the bread. And just, they're wonderful to make, you know, and it's really funny. Even in Standish, where mostly they ordered white wheat, rye, occasionally multigrain. When they got to taste some of those breads, they liked them. And that's really important to a person like myself, you know.
Jan says, such a passion, thank you. And she asks, do you send overseas?
I think we can. We've sent to Hawaii.
She's in Australia. Okay.
Why wouldn't we be able to send to Australia? Shouldn't we be able to do that? I think so.
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't
At
know.
least I'll be able to send you one of my dry recipes, and you can just add water and put it in the oven. It'll be good and measured for you. Which brings about another point. When I say that it's measured, it's my measurements. I don't use your measurements, you know, like you'll never find me with a measured cup. I feel it. I know it. You know,
She says, oh my God, yes, please.
certainly.
You can be our
Shoot,
guinea
we
pig.
do great over in Australia.
Yeah, it's really an untapped market. I mean, over here, it's finally starting to be more, there are a little bit more resources now than there were like when we first started.
Mm-hmm.
But Australia is like zero. Like,
I would love to. Are you kidding? You know, that would be beautiful. And then I can move right next a little bit, be in New Zealand, and then I can hit the rest of the Polynesian islands and everything. That would be beautiful. So if you know someone that's got a empty building with a plot that's over in Australia that I can get, or somewhere over there, let me know. And then Kazi can be found, especially in New Zealand, Kazi can be found dodging cassowaries.
No, you would find me up in the marae hanging out with people.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. Jan says, Kate Lewis Mansfield asks, where are you located?
We are in Casco, Maine.
And Jan says, I'm in a support group here. I'll let them know. And in response, Sonari wrote a response to her sending overseas that we can only ship within the United States at this time.
That sucks.
Maybe I agree. Maybe the dry mixes might have a better travel time.
Yeah, I think so.
We can try it with Jan. Guinea pig.
Sure.
I don't know. It's up to you.
Correspond with Jan. And Jan can say, yeah, that tastes good, or no, that sucks. About 2 minutes. Those will be done. Now, you can serve them with whatever you like. That's up to you.
She says, let's try it.
Sounds great to me.
She says, I'll be the guinea pig.
Sounds good to me. Definitely does. You know, some people bake their ravioli, and that's good, but you probably have to boil it a little bit first. Seeing that there is meat on the inside of this, I want to make sure that it's good and cooked. Because I'm a person that has my meat well done. Like, well done. I don't want to hear anything from it. You clean up your mess, what little mess you can, and here, no, just kidding.
No, I would make more raviolis with that.
I'm going to.
Heck yeah.
Try to waste nothing. You know, when you're cooking. Try hard to waste nothing. I know that we have grown up in a very wasteful age, but I do my best not to waste. Saying is that when I was a kid, I was so hungry all the time, and I know that there are people out there now that are hungry all the time. And when I get my restaurant, I'm gonna make sure that people that come to my restaurant eat. Even with our bakery, we donate it to the shelters, and churches, and things. And I'll make sure that I do the same. And more if I can. No one should go hungry. It's a horrible feeling to be hungry and not have a way to eat. It's horrible. It makes you feel hopeless. And even when you can eat, but you have to watch your diet because your life depends on it, that's just a horrible feeling. And then you look at the different food companies that decide that they need to put salt in so many things for no reason at all, none. And you just think about things. It makes you think about things. You don't think any harder than when you're hungry. You know, just to say, hunger leads to a bad consciousness. A bad consciousness can lead to sickness. And sickness can lead to bad things. So we kind of owe it to ourselves and owe it to our communities and our cities, states, and countries to think. All right. So, just so that you can see this, okay, this is about done. Let me get one from under there. These are huge. Just so you can see it. It's about what it should look like, okay? And if you're gonna make them this size, you probably don't need to eat a whole bunch of them, but if you do want to, at least as far as your sodium count, you're safe. Just don't overdo it. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I look forward to seeing you all next week. For those of you that have just joined, thank you. Mahalo. Thank you very much.
Chance is so good.
Okay. And I will talk to you all next week on Hold the Salt with Ahura Z. Peace.